Hi folks, and welcome to the channel. So in today's episode we're working on something a little bit different. We've got a TD5 Discovery 2, and this belongs to one of the guys here at LRPARTS.net, and he's only just purchased it, so we're going to be hopefully seeing quite a lot of this vehicle and adding a few touches to it. So today I'm going to be putting a rear ladder on the back from Britpart, and I'm going to be fitting a safari style snorkel to the front of the vehicle as well. So fitting a ladder to a Discovery 2 makes quite a bit of sense because it gives you better access to the roof in case you've got things mounted on there. And this is a G4 special edition, so it's obviously got the bigger roof bars. Now, it's just really a lot of drilling, to be fair, and the best way to fit these is using a proper riv nut setting tool, which I do have, and I'd recommend all of you get one of those. They're about £35 on Amazon, where I got mine from. So yeah, I'll show you how to do it now. It's a pretty simple job. The one thing I'm going to make sure I do is actually treat where I'm going to be drilling into the steel. I'm going to be treating that and painting it and sealing it to make sure that we don't create any rust spots. So we get a little blister pack inside which has got all our fixings. We got some adhesive pads as well to stop the frame of the ladder damaging the bodywork. So we'll just get this peeled off and get those put on the ladder itself. Now I've removed the number plate on the back here because it was sat quite high and the brackets would have interfered with it. So we've taken that off. We'll get the ladder on again and then we'll refit the number plate. So to offer it into place, because this plastic sort of handle area, the pod there gets in the way, we have to put it underneath and slide it over the top. Pretty easy. These tabs are flat, but the shape of the door, it actually slopes down, so I'm going to have to bend these very gently to make sure they sit nice and flush. I might just actually tap them with my dead blow hammer just to bend them down slightly. That's better. So they're still not touching the paintwork, but they are angled down a bit more because the bolts they're going to give us are tiny. We'll just slide it out of position again, because like I say, you don't want to be pulling it outwards because you'll be bending that bracket. Now just be careful drilling these out because there's a mechanism behind here that you don't want to interfere with. Got some acid etch here. Spray a little bit into the lid and then we're just going to treat the holes. Got a riv nut tool, get that threaded on there. See how easy that is when you've got the proper tools? Honestly, one of these is just invaluable. I'm going to put the ladder in place now, but I'm just going to put some copper grease in those riv nuts. Now the bolts might be stainless, but I don't think the actual riv nuts are themselves, so this will just help stop some corrosion. It's really just the tiniest bit, but it all helps. Okay. Not going to do it up tight yet because I want some wiggle room. Looking good. So, nice and strong. Not interfered with our latcher tool, so that's all good. Ready for the number plate to go back on. Okay, I'm quite pleased with that actually. The old ones used to use just a bloody self-tapping screw and they were pretty rubbish, and they'd always cause your door to rot out and rust where you've actually drilled the hole through. So anyway, that is a much better solution, but to do it right, you've got to get yourself one of those riv nut tools. I'll stick a link, I'll tell you what, I'll stick a screenshot from the Amazon page where I bought mine from, and you can crack on and go and buy your own. So, second part of our job today is to get this safari style snorkel. Now I say safari style, it's not a genuine safari snorkel, but it is a copy, so it's an aftermarket part. It's a lot cheaper, but essentially it's a one piece, so it's probably just as sort of waterproof, if you like, and water sealed, but it'll do a good job of ramming air into the system and it will look the part on this G4 edition. Before we start anything, let's try and get this sticker off. Okay, so if we look just in here, we can see where the actual airbox located here connects via this plastic duct. So the plastic duct locates into there and then fits onto the wing. So I've just removed that. It's just two little plastic screws. So what we're going to try and do is make this a lot more watertight by adding some silicone on the inside and onto this part here. And then really we ought to be looking at making sure that the seal from the pipe into the airbox itself is siliconed up. And even if you were going to do even more wading, you'd actually want to try and silicone up the airbox. So we do get a nice thick paper template, which is really handy for a job like this. And you can see there, look, it's got all your cutting out. So I'm going to cut this out now. It has got little scissors printed on here to show you're supposed to cut it out, but the dotted line is actually perforated, so that's quite a nice little touch. And the good thing is, it makes it easier to pop out these little holes where you've got to drill through so you don't snag the paper when you're doing it. Now, we've got 8.5mm holes to put in here. I'm just going to mark the holes where we're going to put the box cutter, then I'm going to remove this panel. Okay, I'm just using a 4.5mm drill bit just to get the centres of all my holes. So we want one here. Everything's in position. Let's get the box cutter out. Okay. I mean, the fit is actually not too bad. Look, you can see it's on and it looks right. It's dropping down a bit because we haven't got it fixed. But the problem we've got is that plastic piece is too deep. So if I remove this, again, there's no instructions on this, so it's a bit of guesswork, which I hate. But they give you this cast aluminium sleeve here. And after trying it in a few different orientations, I've worked out that it actually goes in like that. So it's got a little notch in this bottom corner here. Inside, you've got a bolt that goes through to hold the wing in place. So you've got to get the plate behind that first. So tuck it in from the top, in, look, and then it sits really nicely. But there's still this flange here where the plastic on the snorkel won't actually fit. So we're going to have to take some meat off this. Still too long. Right, I have taken a fair bit off there, but you can see, whereas before it was a gap, it's now a really nice fit. So I reckon I've taken at least 5mm off there, look. So if we go into the wheel arch liner, you can just see how much corrosion we've got, and that's where all the speed clips are in, or rather all the fixing clips are in. They're just like fell out pretty much. But it now gives us access in the wing to do the bolts up. Okay, I'm going to fit these little studs in there. They've got a hex socket on the end. So before I do that, I am going to use a little bit of thread lock, because we don't want these coming undone when we're trying to, if and when we're trying to remove the snorkel. The easiest if I put the sticker flex on the inner panel first. Now that might have to move a little bit. So we've got a big penny washer. We do middle two first. Okay, got ourselves a little 13 ratchet spanner to do these up. I'll start with this one right in here. One thing you don't want to do is tighten these up too much, because the riv nuts are only pressed into the plastic, and you don't want to pull the riv nut out. Perfect. It's on. Nice job. So this is our intake. It's all nicely sealed with a Sikaflex. Now we need to actually put some on our pipe here that goes to the airbox, and we have to renew it on the actual housing because this is just a foam gasket here, and that's actually just all perished and come away. So we'll replace that with some Sikaflex, get this all put on, and then we'll just get it mounted to the frame on the A-pillar. Just in here, look, you can see where the wire reinforcement on that pipe was. It's all corroded. In fact, there's even some holes just in there, so that has got to be replaced, and then we can actually Sikaflex it, get it all sealed onto the airbox properly when it's replaced. You've all met Steve before, my glamorous assistant.
Yes.
I'm going to have to drill 4 holes, so you're going to have to hold it for quite a while.
Alright.
Alright?
Is that what you wanted?
What I might do is 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look. So I've got to get at least 2 in. Let's just move this a little bit. Weather strip. Okay, in you go. Let's find the hole. There's one. Okay, you ready?
Right, go.
Well done, this is looking good. Steve, are you available for parties and stuff? Or is it just OnlyFans? No, it's there.
No, allow.
Slag. Right, so it's catching on there. We're going to have to put button heads on, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Go, open up. Oh! And close.
Gotta do it fast. Perfect.
Right, and so what we've had to do, so we've got black rivets so they look sexy, and we've replaced the awful bolts with stainless button heads to give us a bit of a lower profile. This is black. I don't know how long that's going to stay black for. If it was me, I think I'd be putting a stainless one on there. There we go. The snorkel went on really nicely. Let's get the bonnet down and have a look and see. Yeah, I mean, it's gone on really nice. So we've got a really nice line there that all looks even. It's shaped to the wing. The genuine Safari snorkel is a lovely bit of kit, and it will fit in just as well, if not probably better than this. But they use the same sort of method of application, so for the price difference, this is definitely a really viable option for you, because you can see it does go on. The only issue I have with it slightly is the shape of it was slightly out, so we had to heat it up slightly just to bend it, and if you're not careful you can polish and shine this plastic if you go too hot, so be careful if you're doing that. But just a little bit of heat on here and some gentle pressure, gradual pressure, just to give it a little bit less stress, and then someone strong like Steve just to hold it in place while you actually mount it. And as long as you're prepared to make a few adaptations to it, such as when we had to make the outer holes a bit bigger to get it to fit on properly. There's no instructions, so you've got to have a little bit. Well, you can use this as an instruction, so now there are instructions, you can use this. But also fit in those little button head bolts. You know, it's a minor thing, but if you weren't conscious of doing that, the first time you shut the door, you're going to ruin your wind deflectors or your door. You're going to gouge the aluminium frame. You know, you just need to be super careful. So every step of the way, when you're using an aftermarket product, just get things lined up how you want them and just make sure that it will sort of fit in place before you fully commit. But I'm really happy with that. I think for the price, it's done a nice job. You've got these little apertures on here, which you do get stickers for the make of the snorkel, but you can buy a Land Rover badge that exact size, and I'll put the dimensions in the description below. So if you want to put a Land Rover badge on here, you've also got the option to put one at the top here as well. You know, you can do that and just sort of bling up your snorkel. So I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit different doing something on a Discovery 2, a TD5. I really enjoyed it. So hopefully Jez will want to put some more accessories onto his Discovery 2 and we'll be coming back to this vehicle in the future. We've also got Mark who's got a Discovery 2 that we're going to be looking at as well. We're going to be doing some work on the plastics on that. So we've now got quite a nice complement of vehicles. So if you've enjoyed seeing some work on a Discovery 2, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoy it, and I'll catch you on the next one.